All right, Sam. I got a list of 5 things that I think we should
Okay.
talk about.
Sure, shoot. What are they?
Spirited, Creed 3, She-Hulk, Black Adam, and the Fabelmans. But I think you know more about the Fabelmans than I know about the Fabelmans.
Okay. Do you
Granted,
want to start there then?
we can start there. I don't care. I mean, there's no particular order. I figure we're just going to talk about each one
Okay.
and go from there.
I'm really looking forward to the Fabelmans, and I think we should both go to see it when it opens.
Like together as a date?
Well, not a date. I mean,
Why can't it be a date?
Okay, I mean, I guess it could. It's 2022 now, so
I'm just saying I kind of want a few things, but we'll discuss that later.
well, you are married, so it makes it a little difficult. Anyway,
Just a
the
little.
Fabelmans, it's Steven Spielberg's latest project, movie, and it's basically a autobiographical. How do you say that?
Autobiographical.
Autobiographical.
Oh, autobiographical.
Yeah,
I can say that word.
It's sure you could say that, but
I can say that.
When it
You
comes
can't
to
say
rivalry,
God, can't say that word at all.
Can't say rivalry, but you can say autobiographical.
Autobiographical.
So it's semi autobiographical story of Spielberg's life as he's growing up as a child and gets a love for filmmaking.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if that's what it was, because you sent it to me. You sent me the trailer, which we'll put links to the trailer below if you're on YouTube. If you're not, I'll try to figure that out. I'm not sure how to do that. If you're on like Spotify or something like that, listen to this. If we have this,
yeah. If you're just listening to this, I
don't know.
Look it up, damn it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to post this wherever I can at some point. Anyway, yeah, I saw that. Obviously, I was watching that and I was like, I didn't realize it was Spielberg. And then once it seemed very much like Spielberg, I was like, is this a loose Spielberg biopic? Yeah. And obviously him doing it, he's directing it, right? I think that's what it said.
I believe that.
I mean, it should be very interesting because his parents were interesting, stuff like that. Like, do you remember? Have you heard stories about like the dad and?
I don't recall. I thought that his mom was more supportive than his dad was. I think his dad was kind of like, "No, you got to buckle down and get a real career. Can't be doing that filmmaking shit all the time."
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember, that's why he did a lot of movies where the lead that was it's a father son. They have a pseudo like broken relationship, or they're the ones who have the more drama. And a lot of his movies that he did, and it's because of his relationship with his dad. But I remember like his dad like has his mom obviously, but then also I thought there was like another woman in the picture, and they all kind of just like hung out. I don't know. Maybe I probably shouldn't talk out of turn, even though we literally just have a show. The whole point is telling us our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speaking Out of Turn.
Speaking Out of Turn, Tim and Sam. But yeah, no, I thought I
just hear shit
like
or
that.
make shit up.
Oh, what was the old quote? I don't do any research. I just hear it and then I say it.
I don't look things up. I just hear it and then I say it.
And then I say it. There you go. Yeah, but what I love about him talking about the things he used to do when he first started, and I hope they have it in there. Like, I love, and I think about it every now and then when I'm driving or walking into work, his take on his bully that he had. Did you hear what he did with his bully?
Go on, tell me.
Did you hear it, or do you want me to tell you?
I may have, but just go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, so he obviously, like most of us. I mean, I got it. We all got picked on. We had bullies. When I was younger, there was a gang of kids that used to pick on me and my friends. But I guess this one bully, instead of like getting him back in some way, what he did was he actually made him he had him be a part of his film. One of the films he was doing, and in my mind, when I heard that, like when I heard him telling it, I was like, oh, he put him like as the villain so he can get some revenge. No, if I remember correctly, he made him the hero of this like I think it was like an action movie, like
Hmm.
like a soldier. And so
Yeah.
he made him the hero in his movie, and the bully became his friend because of
Huh.
that. And I was like, oh my god, that was so smart. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure if I
That's
tried that with
awesome.
my bullies, they would still just beat me up just on camera. So that would have worked for
Like,
me.
hey, we rolling? We rolling?
All right, we're taking this. They took the camera.
But
But yeah, I thought that was so
I
smart.
love I love the title he chose for this one, The Fabelmans. Like,
Mhm.
they tell fables,
Yeah,
and that's where the name comes from. I'm like, yeah, if you're going to make up a fictionalized version of your life, why not?
yeah,
Just embrace the fact that you're just telling fables, you're telling tales,
yeah.
and yeah, and it kind of leans into the idea that, well, this isn't true, but it based on it,
Yeah, no, I think it looks
sweet.
good.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm very
I think it looks
excited about
really
it.
good. I love the idea of you have artist versus scientist, and I love the dad in the trailer talking about when you have something you got to hold on to it and stuff like that. Like he
Yeah.
like loves his mother, but they
Hmm.
definitely have conflicting ideologies.
Yeah.
Another cool story that I heard from Spielberg when he was a kid, when they're shooting like the war movies that they shot or whatever, and they had gunfire fighting at their feet, he would
Mhm.
actually get pieces of board and they would dig a hole and make it as a lever. So when you
Yeah.
run, you step on the board and it would shoot the plumes of dirt up. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Inventive. Very inventive.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just excited about it because, I have a love for making film, and have a love for the telling of tales and all that. And just
yeah,
to watch the inspiration of this child who just embraced his creative side, which
yeah,
I think there's a bit in everyone, even like people who are like not putting any shame on engineers, but they're a little more technical minded, and they're just like not the most creative, I'll say.
you know
I'm
what? I
gonna
don't know.
go out on a branch here and just say that some people are just not structured for the creativity. They're more for very function and structure, and just
I would.
even those people, they've got some inspiration to do something creative, and
I
we've
think
all got
I
that.
would debate you on that. I would ask like, what then is like, what would you define creativity? Like, yeah, could an engineer, since we're sticking with that
Yeah,
example,
sure.
are they going to write a script? Are they going to be able to tell a great story? That's debatable
Hmm.
if they can, if you're just looking at them as an engineer, but being
Yeah.
creative and figuring out problems,
Oh,
in,
that's what I'm saying. These stereotypical, not so creative people still have a bit of that creativity in them, and they want to embrace that. And the, making a movie may not be their way of expressing themselves and their
yeah,
creativity, but you can look at the creativity that is being expressed by this child who is making these films and go, yeah, I love the fact that he's just embracing his creative side, and I wish I
yeah,
could do that in whatever. I mean, you might think that, oh, well, maybe I'm an architect and I design a building. Oh, it may be the most creative building in the world, but some people will just look at it as a building. But to you, it's got that personal attachment to, that's my creative side. And I think everybody's got some way of embracing their creative side. And this is
yeah.
just one way, one man's expression of his creative side. And I think we can all draw inspiration from that. And I'm just rambling right now.
I know that's fine. I would agree. I would agree with you, and I think it's sad when you see people that have that creative side knocked out of them for various reasons,
Yeah.
and then they just go through life just going through the steps
Hmm.
of not getting to fully express themselves in whatever art form that they would like, or
Yeah.
whatever form they would like. Like it doesn't have to be art form. Like we're talking about engineers or architects and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Like you can still be super. I feel like you can still be super
Yeah.
creative in that in your own different way.
Yeah,
I think
even someone
yeah,
in the field of mathematicians, you think, "Oh, math, it's all these numbers equal these numbers,
yeah,
and that's all there is to it." But they still have creativity, and
yeah.
you know,
I would
it,
agree. But yeah,
I just think that the Fablemans is going to be a great way of just embracing somebody's uh, creativity and the way they just gravitated towards that, and how they embraced it, and how they made it come to fruition, and how he may have been hitting roadblocks throughout his life. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, but he ended up fighting past that and becoming one of the arguably best directors of all time.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see that loosely based biopic of
Yeah.
a director that gets to still be a part of the process.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be very interesting, of him directing his own life, loose.
Yeah.
And then telling his side of the story almost.
Mhm.
It's gonna. I don't know. I just find it so fascinating because it's Spielberg, and you're gonna
Yeah.
have Spielberg telling his upbringing, and you get to see his spark, come into a roaring inferno
Yeah.
of this like amazing director that he is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping it stays focused on just his childhood, because that's where the creativity is very much more pure. It doesn't
Yeah.
get into the business aspects of it. That doesn't go into the whole thing about him setting up an office on Universal property just so
Yeah.
he can establish himself, and it doesn't tell like his production woes of making Duel and Jaws, and how it was tough to be taken seriously at such a young age during those projects.
No, as long as it's.
I wanted to just keep him. I just want to keep it at that childhood innocence, which prevailed through most of his movies. There's always that childhood innocence, that sense of wonder to his projects that I've always embraced, except for maybe Schindler's List,
maybe, but like, yeah.
Color Purple, not as much, but
What I think the point of the movie, the point of the story, would be to tell up to those parts, because then what happens after. But like, bringing it up to that doorstep of like moving in onto Universal a lot and getting stuff going, you could stop there.
Yeah,
because then the rest will go off. The rest is history. All right, let's move on. Unless you got anything else you want to say.
No.
Cool. Checking them off my list. Wow.
Cool. Let's
next? Talk about Spirited. This, I remember them talking about this. If you haven't seen it, Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell. How do I pronounce that name?
Ferrell. He's iron.
It's late at night while we're filming this, and my contacts want to come out real hard. Let's just say that. So, and I haven't even drank at all.
And you haven't taken a shit
yet. I haven't. Yeah. I don't need to yet. That's good. Playing another modern version of essentially the Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds being Scrooge, and Will Ferrell being the Ghost of Christmas Present, and Olivia. What's her last name?
Octavia Spencer.
Why do I want to say Olivia? Oh my god, it's way off. Like I said, it's late for Tim. Octavia Spencer, who is hilarious, is also.
I thought you were going to say hot.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about who I like. I want to say no.
Olivia Spencer, who is hot, or what Tim was actually trying to say was Octavia Spencer, who is hilarious.
Don't judge me. Anyway, I don't know what she's playing in it, but I think it's gonna be hilarious. I think it's gonna be great. I'm excited for it. I'm excited the moment that he posted something about it, or they talked about it forever ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be hilarious. And the trailer, I love the trailer with them silhouetting dancing. I thought that was so much fun. Yeah. And then he's like, "Do you know the moves?" I know. I just swore with it.
I was just following you.
Yeah. I just can't wait. I think it's gonna be great.
My favorite holiday is Christmas, and I love all the Christmas movies. I mean, even the Hallmark ones, the cheesy ones, the the really sappy ones. I just
fit right in
all the movies.
You'd fit in with my in-laws. That's all they watch.
Really?
They love Christmas. If they can keep Christmas up all year round, they would.
And don't mind don't mind the fact that I do like the cynical ones, like Scrooged with Bill Murray,
Yeah.
that kind of
Did you
cynical
ever
take on things.
do you ever watch the Guy Pearce one on Hulu?
What's it called?
It's a Christmas Carol.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
I thought you were
It's a
going to talk
B.
about like time machine.
No, I want to say it's a BBC version of it.
Hmm.
It's fairly recent, within like the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
It is very dark for one. But it is I really dug it. It's really gritty, it's really grimy. It goes into really dark places. Really dark
I
places.
think I'd really like that. Now I got to look that one up.
Yeah, but like they curse and they uh a dude pisses on Bob Cratchit's grave and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's what wakes him up. He's like in the grave and
Wow.
he's getting the urine dripped on him and he's like, I
Uh-huh.
am trying to rest here. He's like taking the 2 bits off. Yeah,
Wow.
no, it's
I'm gonna
on
check that out.
Hulu. You should check it out. It's kind of long, but it's I mean, he does some really messed up stuff. Scrooge does. Yeah, especially well, you watch it. You yeah. But I mean, I thought it was good.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
when the Christmas season comes up, we'll have to review it.
Yeah, right. Well, not this year. I think what are we doing? I don't know. We got to figure all that stuff out. For everyone, this is unedited. I'm not editing this. Everyone's listening to us having our sidebar conversation.
Of course. Yeah. Oh yeah, don't forget, make a note of that.
Yeah, don't forget, make a note, people. This is Tim not editing it. So
This is raw.
Spirited Sam, what do you think as you're writing stuff down?
I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be fun, and
Right?
I've really gotten an appreciation for Ryan Reynolds more lately. Well, by lately I mean post Deadpool.
Yeah, but because you weren't the biggest fan of Ryan.
No,
Ryan
not at all. I was not. I thought he was the biggest no talent ass clown that I've ever seen. And
tell us how you really feel, Sam. Don't hold back.
All right, so
no.
There was the turning point. I think came just before Deadpool. He did a commercial for, I forget what it was for, but it's this woman, and everyone she sees is Ryan Reynolds. She's just like, oh my God, I'm seeing him everywhere. And at one point, the cop pulls her over, and he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? No, man. No. Do you think you can just give me a warning? He goes, sure. Warning. Here comes your ticket.
That's funny. Was Ryan Reynolds doing it, or was it a different person? Like she snapped into reality?
It was Ryan Reynolds was still the cop, and he's just like, yeah, warning. Here comes your ticket. I was like, that's awesome. It's just really funny. And
I was saying, someone like you would love that.
Yeah. But also, it seemed like he just hit a certain point where he seemed to not take himself so seriously. It's like before he used to, in my opinion, he just seemed to be like, well, I'm this cute guy. I got to stay looking cute. I can't. It was like, okay, to describe it, it was like when I first saw him, two guys, a girl, in a pizza place. I thought he was related to Jim Carrey because the one guy's name was like Patrick Carey or something like that. I don't remember exactly. You can look that up later. But I didn't know who Ryan Reynolds was. I didn't know that his name was Ryan Reynolds. I just knew that actor who was on that show was like, he was doing his best to be like Jim Carrey in his delivery, but not going to the point where he makes himself look odd. It's like I'll go just so far with the Jim Carrey thing, but I'm not gonna contort my face to look weird. I'm gonna keep I'm still the cute guy. I'm not gonna make it look like I'm anything weird.
The first thing I saw Ryan Reynolds in was Boltneck.
Yeah,
where he played a Frankenstein.
I have that on DVD.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
That's so funny. The guy who doesn't like Ryan Reynolds. Would you get it for what's his face?
No, I actually picked it up in retrospect.
Joey Lawrence, right?
Joey Lawrence? Yeah, was it? Oh, jeez,
was it Joey Lawrence or the other one?
Matthew Lawrence. I don't know.
I remember. But keep going.
Anyway,
I'm gonna look at that.
I picked it up in retrospect after I became more of a Ryan Reynolds fan. I'm like, I'm gonna go back and watch this from a new perspective because I think
Really?
when I saw it at the time, I was
Matthew
just like
Lawrence.
Matthew Lawrence. I
Yeah.
see. I was. You were close.
We were close. You were closer.
I was correct.
Did you like it after you saw? I mean, as a kid, I enjoyed it. When it came
Yeah.
out, I thought it was fun.
Yeah. When I watched it in my review, I was like, actually, it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah, no, it's still a fun movie.
It wasn't meant to be high cinema. I'll give it that.
No, it was
And
just meant to be a dumb Frankenstein tale.
Dumb, fun Frankenstein thing. And yeah, it fulfilled its needs.
Yeah, it did what it was supposed to do. But you also watch the Hulu Welcome to, how do they pronounce it?
Wrexham.
Welcome to Wrexham. I need to watch that. I want to watch that. I haven't started watching that.
Yeah, that's Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. And what I love about it is they take this bottom tier team and they're trying to get them back up into,
I'm not trying to ask you about the movie or the show.
No.
We're supposed to be talking about Spirited. We haven't talked about Spirited in a while.
This is one of the things I like now about Ryan Reynolds is he's taking this kind of poor town and giving them hope again. And it's like a true underdog story. And I really appreciate that about Ryan Reynolds.
So then let me ask you this question. Since you like to ramble, I forgot how much you ramble when we do long form conversation. I really forgot that, but it's fine. That's the whole point. You're a well of knowledge, Sam. So you saying that, have you heard of all this lately, people coming out and saying that Ryan Reynolds is a D-bag and all that stuff? And it started with like TJ Miller.
Yeah, I heard about TJ Miller's report of how, he was
like treated on there.
And he was being a real dick and he's a real diva now, especially since he made Deadpool. He's now like, oh, I'm just Mr. Star. They hash things out though.
Did they hash things out?
Yeah.
Was that the latest?
Yeah, the latest was TJ Miller talked to him. Is like because Ryan Reynolds reached out to him. He's like, I heard this interview, and I'm like, dude, I didn't know you felt that way. I didn't mean it that way. Whatever I didn't mean how you took it. And let's just hash this out. And they talked for about an hour or two, and by the time they were done, TJ Miller's like, yeah, we're good now.
We're good now. But then everybody else who came out, they tried like coming out against them. So that. Not trying to defend Ryan Reynolds because I have no dog in this fight.
Oh yeah,
but I just thought it was when I heard it was T.J. Miller. I immediately remember one. This dude was so messed up on like drugs that he was trying to call like a bomb threat on a plane. You know, do you remember that? Like that's why he got like arrested and like I thought you did jail time. I don't know. I don't remember. We looked that up. And two, I remember Ryan Reynolds saying nothing but high praises on Deadpool, the sets of Deadpool with him, saying he's one of the funniest people on this planet.
Yeah.
So it was just so interesting for T.J. Miller to then to say all that stuff. And it's like, well, what is going on? I mean, obviously we don't know any of these people or their daily lives and what's going on in there. And
not only were we not there, we weren't
not there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We weren't there. We weren't in their heads.
I guess it's always
two different perspectives.
And I think it's always a knee-jerk reaction for most of us to you like Ryan Reynolds, quote, air quoting it for people that are listening. You like the character, the brand, as the kids say these days. As we all say, that you like the brand. The brand is a likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone comes out against that idea of this person is a fun, happy-go-lucky kind of person, it's very interesting because all of our knee-jerk reactions, no, I don't believe him. Yeah. Like listen, my first thought was like T.J. Miller, the guy who got arrested by like saying there was a bomb on a plane, like that guy.
That guy's accusing that good Canadian kid, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. Come on, he's Canadian for Christ's sake.
He's Canadian. They're all nice people.
All nice.
But I don't know. Then I try to like take a step back and be like, maybe there was some stuff on set. Maybe there was stuff going on.
Then again, Shatner's Canadian, so that might not be the catch-all that they're all good.
Mess. I'm even wearing a Star Wars shirt, and I'm saying, don't mess with Shatner. Anyway, back on Spirited.
Yeah, Spirited looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like fun. I will say this: I'm excited to see Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell with Mark Wahlberg. I think their team ups is hilarious. There's a few team ups in Hollywood that I'm always for. It's if you put a movie with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, I'll probably go see it. And The Rock and Kevin Hart, I'll probably go see that.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most fun movies I think out there. There's both, and from both the four that I just said. But I'm very excited to see Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds' energy because Mark Wahlberg has that great stoicness and the hits of comedy. You know how he delivers, especially in The Other Guys. Oh man, just I'm a peacock, I deserve to fly, and all that stuff. It's just so funny. It just hits so good. He plays it so dry, to Will Ferrell, who is in that movie hilarious
and over the top.
And over the
He's
top.
so big.
So
big.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I want
to see that. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what him and Ryan Reynolds, who Reynolds is over the top as well.
Not only putting their two energies together, but putting them with a Christmas theme. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
And I think that's what's going to make it work. I think because there's that Christmas theme, there's that already story that we know that they're going to satire essentially. Yeah. And I just hope that it's not another everyone's Venkman,
Yeah.
That's the one fear that I have because Mark Wahlberg and him work together because there's different energy. Kevin Hart and The Rock work together well. They have similar energy, but it's also different. I mean, Rock is very stoic, where Kevin Hart is usually very over the top. So I wonder how this is going to be.
Kevin Hart's the mouth and The Rock's the heart.
Yeah.
It's weird because you'd think Kevin Hart would be the heart, but Kevin Hart's the mouth and The Rock is the mouth.
But I do
rock in the mouth.
Actually, wait, what? Charlie Brown got another rock in his back.
I got a rock.
But I do think that I really liked Central Intelligence because I liked that The Rock was the one that was the comic relief essentially, and Kevin Hart was the straight guy in that one. I thought that was a good turn.
Yeah, and Kevin Hart played the cool kid in school.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, you would think The Rock would be the cool kid, but no, that whole fat guy energy thing.
Yeah, which they got to get away from that. But the Jumanji movies are also very funny. Oh man, so funny.
Love them.
I want them, but I don't want them because I don't want them to keep making Jumanji movies because I feel like it's not going to keep living up to it. But I also have so much fun with both those movies. I think are very fun. So, all right, let's move on, Sam.
Okay.
I closed my book. What are we going to?
What's next?
Oh man, we got to talk about this one.
Creed.
The trailer, the trailer just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks so good, Sam.
Yeah,
it looks so good.
The other two Creed movies were awesome, and I credit Ryan Coogler for most of that. But now Ryan Coogler's just directing, and this is he's not directing; he's producing, and it's directed now by Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
So
and it's just I'm trying to. Why is this? I'm trying to look at something right now for people that see. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan is directing it, and freaking Jonathan Majors looks incredible.
He's jacked.
That's obvious. Now I realize. Now I know where the picture came from when they were like, "Yo, this dude's an Ant-Man. He's gonna eat him alive," or whatever it was. That picture of him on the beach. I was like, "Oh, this is from Creed." Because he looks huge. And I love him. He is such a talented actor. He is so good. Have you seen? Obviously, most people have seen him or will know him being was it Kang in
Kang the
Conqueror in the Loki series. But I saw him originally in a Western on Netflix. Oh my god! I was talking about it literally today. It is literally escaping my brain. I gotta look it up real quick.
You take your time, look that up.
I'm not gonna take my time. I'm just gonna do a couple clicks. Bless you, Samuel.
Thank you.
Bless you. Where is it?
It was a Western on Netflix, you say?
Yeah, dude. It was a really good Western. I feel like they did a really good The Harder They Fall. That's right, The
Mm,
Harder They Fall. He played Nat Love from the Nat Love gang. It is
mm.
so good. There's so many people in that movie. There's so many people. I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to try to. Where's the stars? There's too many stars to say.
Just rattle them off if you can find it.
Yeah, dude. You got Jonathan Majors. You got oh yeah, Dim Wayans Jr. is in it. That's right. You got Zaza Beetz. You got Regina King. You got Idris Alba. You got Lakeith Stanfield. You know, oh man, it just goes and goes and goes.
That's a killer
Lakeith,
lineup.
dude, Lakeith Stanfield. He is also so freaking. I mean, all those guys
Oh
are
yeah.
so freaking talented.
Oh yeah. They're all
I'm a
so
huge
talented.
fan of his. I
And
mean,
Zazie Beetz.
Sassy Beats, Idris Alba, all those guys. But yeah, that movie, I love Westerns, and that's a really, in my opinion, that's a really good modern Western.
Mhm.
I'll say like a Western that's shot now. It
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
me such great vibes of old school spaghetti Westerns, and I thought it was so great. And they play rival gangs. He's the leader of the Nat Love gang, and then Idris Alba is the leader of this other gang, and it's
Mhm.
so good. Anyway, but Creed 3, directed by Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, they're all coming back.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what happened to Rocky, and we're all assuming that Rocky's probably dead, right? Are we going to assume that? Do you think he's dead?
Yeah, I'm going to assume that.
I would have. I don't. I feel like It's one of those. I would assume that it's what it is, but I would love it for him just to kind of be just at Adrian's, just at the restaurant. That's where I want Rocky to
Oh,
be. I want Rocky just to be working at the restaurant.
I thought you meant at her gravesite.
No,
Yeah,
not. I mean,
just at
he goes.
Adrian's. He's
He's at her
just got
gravesite.
that chair stocked in the tree there, and just
In the tree there. Yeah, no, I would love for that, but I wouldn't be upset if he was passed and moved
yeah,
on, and that's why he's not here.
yeah.
But I
I
just
like you might
oh,
get upset with Adrian being dead in the one Rocky movie. And it's like, well,
Rocky Balboa.
yeah, um, it was done so well that I'm like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
And if they did, a good story about Rocky passing away and Creed, being like, it's part of my motivation. He was part of the guy that got me to this point.
yeah.
Him, my mom, my dad, all these people that were in my life. And if they did it well, I'm totally behind it. I won't miss Rocky being in this.
I'll tell you this. In Creed 2, when I watched that, walking away from that, first of all, how Michael B. Jordan has it at least gotten nominated for an Oscar,
I know.
if not won an Oscar. I have no idea. That's 100% a shame.
Yeah.
He was amazing in both movies. The second movie, it was so much more than a boxing movie. I know, obviously, these are boxing movies, and the way they market it is boxing movies. But
Yeah.
I'm going to tell spoilers, so sorry. I mean, you had your chance to see it. It's a couple years old now. But when they have their kid, and the kid is possibly deaf, like
Yeah,
Tessa
like
Thompson's
Justin
character is,
Thompson's character.
or becomes, I should say.
Mhm.
That moment that he has with Rocky, or where Adonis is like kind of down and not sure what to do, and Rocky's like giving that one more motivational speech of like, "This is your kid. You can't be
Mhm.
down for your kid. Your kid's not going to know that he's like he doesn't think anything's wrong with him. There's nothing,
Yeah.
because there's nothing wrong with him, and that's how
Yeah.
you got it. Like, there's nothing wrong with your kid. Like that kind of like, I
And
forget exactly how it says it.
yeah, you can't treat him like there's something wrong with him because you
Yeah,
want him to think that there's nothing wrong with him. And there is
yeah.
nothing wrong.
Like he's gonna look to you, for all.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm just bawling. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, this hit on such a heart. Oh, on the heartstrings for me. That second one. That second one says so much heart in it. I fucking
See,
loved it.
it can be argued that every one of the Rocky movies and the Creed movies were more about the people than they were about the boxing. And
Especially the first one.
oh yeah, the first one, the
Yeah.
second one even because the
Yeah.
whole getting married, and it was
Yeah.
more about the personal stuff, and not so much about the fights as much as well, except for maybe 4. Rocky
Yeah.
4 was pretty much an allegory about East versus West, but
Yeah.
other than that one,
yeah, no, I mean,
it's more about the personal things, and I love the way that in the first Creed, and we talked about this back in the day, the first Creed movie, the fact that Tessa Thompson's character was going with a degenerative ear condition, the hearing, we were like, that could be a movie in and of itself. That was
for real
as interesting as the main story, and it was just heartbreaking, and it was achieving your goals despite all the difficulties that are thrown at you. Just amazing.
I think you said it, or I think we kind of talked about. I'm not sure if it made the edit, but isn't that the one movie that like won the Oscar or whatever it was? Wasn't it about the drummer who?
Oh yeah.
What was that called? Like,
I forget what the name of that movie was.
Something, the sound of something. I gotta look it up now.
All right, it wasn't the Sound of Thunder.
No,
that one didn't earn any Oscars.
Yeah, see, I don't even know what I'm going to be looking up. I don't even know how. Well, start talking, Sam.
I couldn't even tell
you. Sound of Metal.
Sound of Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a.
I mean, and like we said then, being a musician. I mean, see, that's another word I can't say. Being
a musician
industry.
Okay.
That she was in, and having that regenerative hearing loss, or degenerative. God, I am all over. This is why I don't edit things.
Having regenerative hearing, where her hearing just kept getting better. You wouldn't believe it.
It actually got too good. That was the problem.
It was deafening how
like
loud everything was.
It was like the Lucy with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
It just got so good she just didn't even want to do it anymore. It just became one with the universe. So this movie though looks awesome, but I read some of the comments, and I did talk to someone after. I mean, they watched it, and I was watching them watching it on like a TV at work, the trailer. And the first thing they said, or one of the guys said, and some of the comments I saw the same thing, is that it's hard to not like Majors.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know how he better do something really bad as a villain, because the one dude was even saying like, I saw nothing in that trailer that made me not want to root for him.
He's gonna have to kick a dog.
He's something, right?
To set himself up as the bad guy.
He's got to do the reverse of Save the Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save the cat, kick the dog. It's two sides of the same coin. And he's gonna have to kick the dog pretty damn hard
for real
to make you not like him. Because
oh man, I can't wait. I just can't wait for this movie. It's gonna be so much fun.
But I think I said this to you, texted you earlier when we were talking about doing this and talking about this subject. It's almost like Creed has his own Clubber Lang now. You got this, hungry guy, this hungry guy from the street, and he's really got like this desire, this anger pushing him too, and it's like, okay, I'm down for seeing this. I want to see this.
I liked when it's like, "Why you ducking me, fool?" Like, and he was like saying something about Adrian. He's like,
"Balboa,
I'll bring her home, make her a real woman." I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" Oh man, that was so much fun. I liked so much in the comments of, I think when the YouTube comments was like, "I knew it. They were gonna have Thunder Lips' son in this one." Like, and they just put the picture of Hulk Hogan just being all jacked. Like, oh man. The internet, they're silly people.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about something that me and you haven't talked about this Marvel TV Disney Plus series ever. I think we haven't really discussed our thoughts on it.
No,
because you just finished it tonight of recording. I finished a little while ago. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
And we have to call it that.
We have to call it that. So that's big. The
She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
She-Hulk Attorney at Law. The season finale all just happened just very recently. We're recording this.
I just watched it today.
You just watched it today. What's your thoughts on the whole experience, the season finale? What do you got going on with She-Hulk? What are we thinking, Sam?
I'm just gonna say I don't care what everyone says or what anyone says. I loved it. I really was totally buying this the whole way through. I don't know what people are complaining about. Even the sketchy CG when it was
Yeah.
somewhat sketchy, it didn't bother me at all. I was like,
Yeah,
no,
doesn't really
it
bother me.
was still better than some of the CG I've watched in the past, and didn't have a problem with that. I mean, because I used to watch stop motion animation for the effects. Like the
Clash
great
of the Titans.
Harryhausen, like that's his first. His first name's Harry, last name Hausen. Ray Harryhausen. You look at these stop motion things, and it's like people would be like, "Oh, that doesn't hold up." Well, it's still amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
wasn't the original
And
Clash of the Titans? Did they have some stop motion in there?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
They had, and I think it might have been Harryhausen. In fact,
Yeah.
Harryhausen.
I will say this. First of all, I'm glad you liked it. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. I feel like I'm probably gonna get roasted, and I probably shouldn't say this because people are gonna label me a certain type. But I want to be honest, and
Go.
I want to share my true opinion.
And
My
then I
true
will
opinion is my buddy asked me this. What did I think? Who also really liked it, and I will say who was also a male who really liked it.
I'm a male too, by the way.
And well, we'll see. I said that I don't hate men as much as the writers of She-Hulk do.
And I would counter that with I don't think they hate men as much as you think.
And I hope that's true.
I mean, I just felt that. I mean, and I've heard that complaint that people are like, "Oh, it's the MCU, and it's like
no, I
it's
wouldn't.
all
I mean,
pro female,
here,
and
let me
men
explain
are
that.
bad." I know.
Let me explain what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So before I get just roasted,
Okay.
what I'm trying to say is every male figure in there, for the at least they were like one or two categories. They were either a scumbag, slimy piece of shit, or they were like a joke. The only one that really was like a good male figure was like Daredevil.
What about Pug?
Because he was a joke.
I didn't think he was a joke at all.
I thought he was a joke. I took the only reason why he went to a joke was when they went to go get like the suit or whatever, and they like show up in like the knockoff gear and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like he became a joke then, which sucked. The only reason why I say that as well is because that actor is a really good actor. I don't know his names. He's a really good actor because he was on Arrow and he had a great character on Arrow. Spoiler, being the good guy turned, secretly being a bad guy. Mm-hmm. And I thought he was so great. And I love the way he acts. I love how he talks this quiet talk. And I just love his diction. Like, I don't know. There's some people where like when they talk, I just like listen to everything they say.
Yeah.
Him and like Christoph Waltz and stuff like that. They have like this like way of talking. And I just love the way he talks. I mean, he was definitely more comic relief, but that's what I'm saying. He's like a joke. And I just felt like even Wong became a joke. They turned him into a joke. They turned Abomination into a very big joke, literally. And Bruce was kind of, he was there in the beginning, but I don't know. It just seemed watered down.
I just thought
immediately Jen Walters was better than him as the Hulk. And I would agree that she should be better than the Hulk because she kept her brain. Like she didn't turn into a rage monster.
Yeah.
And that's
except for that one scene.
Well, yeah. Except for when she got really, really angry.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It just seemed like she was so much better than him right off the bat. I don't like that. Anyone. I don't like how people are just like better than people that have been doing it for years right off the bat. Guy or girl, it doesn't matter. I wish there was a little more training, a little bit more being humbled.
I didn't take it that way because even in the pilot episode where they're throwing the boulders, just look at the form that Bruce is taking when he goes to throw that boulder, just like doing a free throw. He's barely just putting his wrist into it to throw this boulder and be like, here, look, this is how we do it. And so she lines up like she's throwing a shot put. and goes just a little past where he was. And like, oh yeah, now I'm better. And he's like, nah, screw this, and he just whips one off the over the horizon. He's still better, but he doesn't need to prove that to her because he's trying to
Sure.
train her and teach her how to do this and how to
Sure,
control her tanker.
but when you watch the actual show, she even says she's better than the. I mean, they make a point of her being better than him.
She says she's better, and he says no, just different. And that's the point. She's not better than him. She's just different. It's a different take. It's like men and women. Men and women are what I think equal, but different. You can't say that, oh, you want to make a strong female character, you've got to make her male. And I hate that. And I love this series because no, they do that a lot where they make the woman more masculine to make them tough. And oh yeah, I'm gonna say it. Carol Danvers was very much like, oh, I'm just a angry male energy kind of woman. She had just I didn't sense any feminine to her. She didn't let her guard down long enough to be feminine.
Yeah, but
she was always on giving a very male energy about her.
I just thought that honestly in that movie, Captain Marvel, I don't think I didn't think she gave any energy. I thought that like I didn't like that movie only because I felt like there was nothing behind the eyes with her. I feel like her co-star, I forget her name, her co-star was acting very well, and I feel like I don't know, she just wasn't. I wish it would win somebody else, but I think I didn't see any emotion really. But that's another conversation.
No, that's a whole nother conversation. But I do understand your point that, and I think that might have also been due to the writing and the directing and how that was. But that feeds into me thinking the reason that it came off that way was they didn't know how to write a strong female with female energy and being feminine. They had to write her more like a male to make her seem strong and more powerful than the males. She's got to be the toughest there is. And it just took on like a male vibe and a male energy to it. I'm talking about the character throughout all its interactions.
I think there's lots of back there that we'll get into very murky water.
Sure.
If we haven't already pissed off everybody. Oh, yeah. But sticking with She-Hulk.
Sticking with She-Hulk, I just felt that she was able to be feminine and yet still be strong. She was able to be better.
I don't need her to be masculine to be strong. If that's what you're trying to imply.
No, I'm not implying that at all. I'm saying that this did a good job of not falling to that trope, which a lot of different like when they go to make the female character better than the men because she's female, and it's not taking advantage of the fact that females have different strengths and weaknesses than the men. Men have different strengths and weaknesses than women. She was able to control her temper more because she wasn't in as stressful a situation. She was constant stresses of being a female and dealing with the harassment in the workplace, in the social arenas. And that was her perception of what stress is, what causes her anger. She was used to controlling that, but she wasn't like, oh, well, Bruce was abused as a child and had to deal with that. And, and there's the male energy thing. Yes, they do. Men have been proven scientifically to have more anger issues. It's just a thing. And so the fact that she was better at controlling her anger, it doesn't make her better. It doesn't make her a better Hulk. And nobody would want to see her have to go through the whole process that Bruce had already gone through.
I would have loved to see her go through a trial and error process, if that's what you're talking about. Turn your damn phone off. I'm just kidding. I don't care. You can
yours was buzzing earlier.
I know, right? Well, I put it on vibrate. I don't know. I think there was a lot of stereotypical behavior. Obviously, both of us being men, it's hard to talk about that because we're not women and we don't know what they truly go through on a daily basis. We've seen it. We've both seen our friends that are girls go through some messed up stuff.
Yeah.
And I will never deny that there are shitty fucking guys out there. There's a lot of shitty guys up there. But I just felt that in this show, if my son were to watch it, what is he going to take away from it? Because it just seemed like every episode there was a shittier guy. I mean, even they have a client who fakes his own death because he can't handle breaking up with his wives, and that's their client, and they like berate him and say all these things that I'm like, if you were a lawyer with a client like this, you would never do that to your client. But on the show, they did, and they made it really clear that he's a piece of shit, and they even agree that he's a piece of shit, and they're gonna like deal with the ex-wives and give them a better deal, or at least give them like a really good deal, opposed to like trying the best deal from their client. You know what I'm saying? It's just a weird, like, I'm not saying they did the wrong thing. They definitely did the right thing. It just sometimes things don't feel organic on the show to me. It just that's what it felt like. Like even the guys that Abomination's around, they're all kind of like jokey. You know,
they were jokey.
They weren't scumbags. They were jokey. They were in the other side of the category. You know, there was like no male positive figure except for Daredevil, which was my favorite episode. I really loved that episode. I love the chemistry between him and Jen. I thought Jen was very funny, and I love when he's like, "I can hear your heartbeat," and she's like lovingly looking at him. I thought that episode was written very well. The comedy was great. The dynamic between those two were great. You know, even the leapfrog, he was very funny. That guy's an awesome dude. I really liked his character. You know, I really rip it and whip it. And I thought it was great. I thought that was like, I always thought that would probably be their best episode.
Yeah.
I just wish at times there was more lawyer stuff too. Like that was another thing I was thinking about today. I was like, what was the lawyer aspect? There wasn't a lot. I mean, more procedural stuff. Like I really liked the back and forth between having a final adversary in the courtroom, like a true lawyer in the courtroom. Like I kind of want them to have Jen's like, you know, like not a nemesis, but you know, lawyers and prosecutors and defendants, like they all know each other. They're all colleagues. They work together all the time because they're constantly seeing each other. So I would love her to have like some sort of rival who is really good at what she does and kind of can contest Jen for what Jen does, how well Jen is. And I really wish they would have had something like that. But the only the people you meet really is on her team. And the only time they really go in the courtroom, you know, some hero comes in. So I do hope in the second season they do what Matt was saying, where lawyer by day, superhero by night kind of a thing. And I think that'd be really cool. Because I like that stuff. I thought I mean I personally would have liked that stuff where she doesn't get her way or she's, you know, you're seeing more of that side of the lawyer, not because even like the times you're in the courtroom, I mean, it didn't feel like attorney at law to me most of the time. You know, she like even when like it sucks because even though it was kind of procedural with her and Abomination and the wives in the background, and they have to do it in this because obviously he has to stay confined. It just sucked because you're like, I kind of want to see that in a courtroom. You know, like it didn't feel like a courtroom, even though exactly it really was a courtroom or some sort of, it was a parole meeting. So I guess that kind of not courtroom. Now that I think about it, it was a parole meeting hearing.
Yeah.
But I wanted more courtroom stuff for an attorney show. For attorney at law show, I wanted more courtroom drama.
Yeah, I just wanted more Jen Walters / She-Hulk, the way it was the fourth wall breaking comedic.
And I didn't mind the fourth wall breaking. Everyone was all like originally pissed about that.
Well, that's how the comic was.
That's exactly like the comic was like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and some people complained about the last episode because she busted through the not even the fourth wall. She
busted through the app.
Through the
I will
the app
say
itself. And I love that because in the comics, she would bust through comic panels all the time. And
yeah,
it
and
was
talk to the
like,
writers.
yeah. And that was like the live action video version of that, where she's busting through the map on Netflix, or not Netflix, but
Disney Plus.
yeah, whatever
I'll
streaming
say
service.
this though. The only thing, the reason I wasn't a huge fan of it, I know it happens in the comics. I get that. And I know it's part of her character, but I wasn't a huge fan of it only because it took me out what was going on, and I was really digging what was happening. Like I was really in it. Like I was in, like I really liked that beginning part of that episode. I was really in it, and I was like, yeah, this is escalating crazy. I was wondering why Hulk was way smaller than Abomination. Like what happened
Yeah.
there? That was kind of weird because they were definitely the same size, or he was a little bit bigger, but anyway. But I was really digging it. I liked that the Abomination was doing a like talk, but not really knowing who it was for, but just was
Yeah.
doing it. Like you guys did. Like I really wanted to hear that like Miss.
He was just hired in to be a speaker.
Yeah,
And
to be a motivational speaker, even though he's
okay.
motivating them to go after someone he actually likes.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was very funny, and I liked all that. But then when they stopped it, it just completely went, in my opinion, out of left field. And I get that's what she does, and I get that's the character in the
Mhm.
comics. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, I personally really thought you had a great episode going, and then it just went completely left field. And then you got Kevin Feige, who really is a robot with a hat, and all that stuff. And then at the very end, you have like,
at first I didn't realize the hat thing because it was kind of
oh,
like,
I saw that right away. Yeah,
I was like, well, it's just the hood over the lens. Oh wait.
I did spend way more time seeing if there was an actual like, if it was just a hood that looked like a hat. But I mean, I was too busy going, what is going on? And it took me so far out of the episode.
For me, the end of the series, the end of the episode was just like, okay, this is the ending of Blazing Saddles, where suddenly,
yeah,
now they're busting out of the studio and they're out on the lot, and
but I'll say this for
really
Blazing
witty.
Saddles though, they kept the pacing up. Like it didn't drop when they got out of the thing.
Well,
They kept it going
for me,
crazy.
For me, it was like in She-Hulk, it was like, here's your record scratch. And now all of a sudden, okay, whoa. She's like, whoa. Addressing Kevin, Kevin. She was addressing the
Oh,
AI.
spoilers, by the way. I guess we should have said that at some point. Whoops.
She's addressing that and just saying, listen, whoa, you always have the same trope of having these big fights at the end, and we should switch this up and do something different for Marvel now. And then then the dig at the end with the well, I'll see you in the movies. Really? No.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're definitely not making it to the big screen.
No. But also, yeah, and I guess
because
I wasn't a big fan of everything wrapping up so neatly from there and not in there. Like I still wanted some conflict and some sort of, I don't know. I wanted a little bit different. I understand what they did, and I understand the comics and all that. I get all that. I just, for me, it just took me out. It ruined the pacing, unlike Blazing Saddles. They kept the pacing and they wrapped it up very well outside of the movie, set in the real world. Where in this, I feel like they wrapped up everything so neat and tidy. And when she came back, everything was already done. And she just like brushstroked it all away. And I just was like, I guess that's what you're doing. That's fine.
Let's just agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Because I did dig the whole series more than
I'm glad you did. And I hope, I really thought
I thought it was fair to give the females their perspective this time,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like you think like I'm not like.
No, I know. I'm not making you out to be the misogynist here.
What?
I said I'm not trying to make you out to be the misogynist here. I'm just saying that, I've heard complaints from other sources saying that, oh, well, all the guys were simple or they were stupid or they were scumbags, but not all of them were. I thought Pug wasn't just comedic relief, just like her her friend, I forgot her
She was
name.
so funny. I forgot her name. She was so great.
She was funny.
I thought everyone acted great.
Yeah, she was funny, but I don't think she was a joke. Just like I think Pug was funny, but I don't think he was a joke. I thought he was like a good contributor to her team, and you know, I thought he had comedic moments. Sure,
he was very comedic. Sam, he was comic relief. Come on.
He wasn't all comic relief.
I mean, she was the best friend was very funny. She was a comic relief as well. But there's nothing wrong with being. I'm not saying it's wrong with being a comic relief. I'm just saying that looking on it, I felt like there was two categories of men in it, and it was either total scumbag, which yes, men are total scumbags, or they were a joke. Besides Daredevil, Daredevil was Daredevil because they're setting up Daredevil, but like Wong became a joke. Abomination was a joke. The people he was with, they were all jokes. Like there was no real. Her boss was a scumbag. Yeah. You know, most of the people that she met were scumbags. The one dude who you were hoping for that she can finally find like true love, and it wasn't, you know, not everyone's a piece of shit. Super scumbag, you know, beyond scumbag. So it's like there's no like good. Not that they have to have one. I'm not saying they have to have one either. You don't have to have that character in it, but it just seemed like, in my opinion, that most men were either one or two categories. Scumbags or jokes. So it just was like, okay, if that's what we're doing, I guess that's what we're doing. That's fine. But like, I don't know. That's just the way I saw it. And if you saw it differently, that's totally fine. That's,
from my perspective, if you're going to do a comedy, you have to have some people being not a joke. Their character isn't a joke, but they are done for humor. It's different. You can say a person's funny without saying they're a joke. That means they're not considered a serious character.
Sure. I get what you're saying. If you want me to change my kind of definition of what I mean as a joke, I can.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that, you know, these people can be good men and still be funny, played for humorous effect.
Like he was Wong. Like, Wong was a really good guy. Wong's a good guy. They're all good guys, but like
he had his comedic moments because bottom line is this is a courtroom drama and a comedy.
But it wasn't really a courtroom drama. That's the problem.
Well, it wasn't really a courtroom drama. It was just framed as her hyper realistic or non-realistic fourth wall breaking comedy with a backdrop of her being a lawyer.
Yeah, and my one buddy, he thinks that Wong's a Skrull because like Wong, I feel like never really would have hung out with that chick for so long, which was very funny. Like that was very funny. Her just
Madison
went to some demon world. Yeah,
Madison, but with one eye. But it's not where you think.
Yeah. Like and him, so him doing that stuff, which is funny. Like they do very funny stuff. It's just like, would Wong really hang out with her? Like,
why not?
I don't know. Because he's the Sorcerer Supreme. He's got way more important stuff to do. You think? Maybe.
But we're not really seeing him do all of his.
No, we're seeing him watch The Sopranos.
We're seeing him watch The Sopranos
and go after a guy who's a really crappy David Blaine kind of magician or whatever. Not David Blaine, Chris Angel or something.
David Copperfield, Chris Angel is probably the most accurate one there.
Yeah,
but I mean,
who's a wannabe Johnny Blaze character name?
We were seeing though, like, the lighter moments out of all the, you know, even if you're saying, well, Pug was a joke, I don't think he was, but we're seeing the comedic moments of it. I don't think he was played as a joke. He was played as a comedic character or a funny character.
Sure.
We're seeing the funny parts of it. I mean, I'm sure they could easily take him out of that series, put him in a different situation, like maybe a crossover in Daredevil, have him be more of a legit lawyer and play that for that sake.
I mean,
if he was just a joke, then you couldn't move him into another setting and have him still be taken seriously because you put him in a different series.
Well, like you just said, if you move him into Daredevil, I don't think he's going to be taken serious unless
I think he could be if they wrote him that way.
I mean, in the beginning, yeah, like in the beginning when you first meet him, sure, but then like once he started going down the realm of being more comical with her, which is funny, those two together are hilarious.
Mhm.
Like I said, I like all the actors. I think everything was acted very well.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching them. I like him as an actor. Once again, I don't remember any of his freaking names, and I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But like he was on Arrow, and he was great. That season of Arrow, I thought was really great.
Mhm.
And I really like watching him as an actor. And those two together, like her best friend, is hilarious, and she was so much fun to watch. All of them were watch. I thought Jim was great. But it's just like I don't know. At times, I just was not always digging it, and I'm allowed to have that opinion.
And I was. Oh yeah, you're clearly in your own way allowed to think that, because that's what is so great about entertainment is, you know, it says something different to each person.
Yeah.
I took it like, oh, it was just a lighthearted romp, which gave women their due to express that. Yeah, sometimes it's tough for us. It's tough to be a woman. It's and we're not bad. Sometimes we're really good. Okay, great.
You're
And I know
saying
it sounds very derogatory.
Well, I felt like you were saying words that like it's tough to be a woman. It's tough for this. It's tough for that. Like you're saying, but your face was making it saying like it was different. And I think that's where you lost it. I think if you would have just said it normal, everyone would have agreed with you.
No, I'm just saying that these people are looking at it like it's being said that way.
Oh, okay.
But
I just saw your face doing
they're
something. And I was like,
allowed
"What
to.
is happening?"
They're allowed to legit get that off their chests and be able to show their side of things, you know, and say, "Listen,
I'm
you
not.
don't
I
understand."
mean, me and you have
And
argued about like Star Wars stuff. I'm
yeah,
wearing the T-shirt when everyone was like griping about Rey being a Mary Sue, and I hate that
mhm.
stuff. I literally hate that stuff. Like, if
I
you have real arguments of why you don't like something, you should be able to come to real arguments. But the moment you go, "Oh, the
mhm.
overpowered women, and they're only doing this and this was because she's a girl," like, shut up, just shut up. It's not. I don't know. I don't like those arguments. I like what. I don't know. Maybe people say then Tim, my argument's not legit, and that could be true.
Yeah.
I feel like looking at it, you know, I would have wanted more lawyer procedural stuff,
Mhm.
and I felt like I said before, just the male. There was two different categories for male characters, which is whatever. I mean, like it's yeah, like it's She-Hulk. She should be the center. You don't have
Yeah.
to have a male character in it for her to be like awesome. Obviously, she
Mhm.
needs to take center stage, and I think she did that well. And when it was working, I feel like it was working, but I
Mhm.
don't feel like it was. Oh, I don't feel like it was always working because for me it was hard to get behind it when everybody I saw on there was a piece of shit. Most men on there were pieces of shit. It just kind of kept taking me out. I was like, and I like remember one episode. I was like, is there no good guys at all in this fictional version of California? Like, is everybody a piece of shit? That's just what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And I'm
See,
like, not every guy's a
I
piece
saw
of shit.
I saw it differently. I saw it as two categories, just like yourself. But there were piece of shit guys, or there were good guys who were being funny. You
Sure,
know,
yeah,
even Daredevil, he was funny.
he was funny. Like I said, that was one of my favorite. That
Her
was
father,
my favorite episode,
her
and I
father.
really liked the beginning of it. The father was very funny.
I love him
They
from
were
the
classic
days back
characters.
at he was
Cousins.
cousin Larry
Yeah,
from Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers. I used to
Yeah,
watch Perfect Strangers
and
all the time.
seeing
All right, let's move on.
Larry Appleton.
Yeah, let's
All
move
right.
on to our last one because I don't know how long we've been rolling for, but it's getting late on my end. Let's talk about Sam. The last thing, The Rock, Black Adam. We can talk about Black Adam, but let's talk about the real thing. Bringing back Henry Cavill as
Henry.
Superman. Did I say Henry? What did I say?
Yeah, you said Harry.
No, I said Henry, but I probably slurred it.
Okay.
Bringing back Superman. Henry Cavill. I just wanted to say it different.
Kev L.
Cavill.
like
Jor-El.
he's related to Kal-El. He's Cav L.
It's Cavill. That's how
his
now I'm
cousin.
going to always pronounce it that way. What are we thinking?
I want to hear what you have to say because you're a bigger Superman fan than I am. But I have to say that my take on Superman, I loved Christopher Reeve. Don't get me wrong, but I always thought he was a bit thin in 70s.
thin. He was very muscular. Are you kidding me?
He was muscular, but he was no Henry Cavill.
He was the barrel.
Henry Cavill's a fucking beast.
Well, let's just talk about. That's a whole different topic of nutrition and how to actually get jacked and what really works. But I did like how you asked me to go first, and then you started talking about your favorite Superman.
I just said I wanted to hear your take on it. I didn't say I wasn't going to voice mine as well.
I didn't say it was now.
I didn't say I wanted to hear it first.
Yes. As everyone knows, I grew up reading DC Comics. Superman is my favorite superhero. If he ever, decided to kill people, he would destroy Batman and everybody if he really wanted to. Hence, all the video games and everything about him doing such that. So let's put that argument to bed, shall we? Anyway, I'm going to get so much hate on that one. Don't care. Superman's the best. And I am not the biggest fan of the Zack Snyderverse version of Superman. No. I'm not a big fan of Man of Steel or any of those. I just don't think... I don't care. You want to retell the story? Sure. How many stories have we seen they retell Spider-Man a million fucking times, right? I just think that you need to stay true to the character, and you can retell the story. Just say who the character is, who Clark Kent is, who the characters are. One thing I am always get griped is, I don't know why they kill off Jonathan Kent. They've done it ever since the Richard Donner version. It's not what happens in the comics. Yeah, he is alive. Superman goes back and constantly talks to his parents about all kinds of stuff. And that's what I loved about it. That's one of the reasons why I do love Superman, is he's constantly that farm boy from Kansas. It humbles him. He can level the world, and yet he still goes back to his mom and pa and I do say that purposely, for advice and for what to do. And I just felt like in that version of Superman, that's not who the character is. It was so much, I'm gonna savior everyone. I don't know. It just was. If you're gonna save people, I wanted to watch you save actually people. Especially in Man of Steel. I don't feel like he really saved anyone. He was fighting. He was destroying, which I didn't have a problem with. I don't know why everyone's excess damage of making fun of it's fucking super. There's gods. It's gods fighting gods. Yeah. He's good. They're going to destroy stuff. It happens all the time in the comics, in the cartoons, in animated movies. That's just what they do. So having him come back, I like Henry Cavill. I never was ever upset. I know some people that are upset that he's British playing an American icon, which is very funny to me. That's a weird reason why not to like him, but whatever. To each his own. No, I started liking him more when I heard about what he wanted to do for Man of Steel 2. Some of the routes he wanted to take, exploring the character more and stuff like that. I was like, ooh, I like what you're saying, brother. Let's keep saying that. So I'm actually very excited for this new shakeup of leadership in the DC, the Warner Brothers. This new kind of vision. I was not a fan of the Zack Snyder verse. I feel like not everyone is Batman. Not everyone is Venkman, and not everyone is Batman. Superman needs to be light. Superman is the light in the darkness. Metropolis is the sunny sky. Even when it rains, the sun still shines. It's the city of tomorrow, where Gotham is always overcast. It's like London and England and all that stuff. It's just constantly.
Now you're going to get complaints from people from London or England.
No.
No, it's not always. Hey, we get sunshine.
No, they don't. They'll even say
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, the 2 or 3 days. I had cousins who lived over there. It doesn't happen. But it's even worse than that. It just seems muggy and Gotham. I'm talking, not London.
Yeah,
Gotham. It's dark, it's gritty, it's grimy, it's rough. The Batman with Matt Reeves' Batman, I thought did a great job of showing what Gotham is. Batman Begins, I thought did a great job showing what Gotham is. The other two movies showed Chicago. Yeah. And it was too light and too bright and all that stuff. You completely destroyed your set.
Yeah.
So Superman,
too much glass and steel as opposed to bricks
and mortar. So for Superman, I'm excited for it. A lot of people, the average moviegoer doesn't understand that Superman's weakness isn't just kryptonite, but it's also magic. And Black Adam is based in magic. His powers are magical. So he will give Superman a run for his money. He can mess up Superman more than probably Zod. And it should be very entertaining when they fight. I mean, one of my favorite scenes is when in the animated movie Superman and Shazam.
Yeah.
And I think it's that one where Shazam grabs Superman, they're fighting each other, and he just leans his chest toward the sky and just keeps yelling Shazam, and he just keeps getting hit with these lightning bolts. Boom, 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 boom. It's just like, it's great. It's such a clever way of messing with Superman. So
and to use like a side effect from your powers to a great effect. It's like that. Yeah, that lightning bolt is just for him to transform. But if you get someone else in the way of it, that could be a pretty effective weapon.
Oh yeah,
especially if you have a weakness to magic.
To magic, yeah. I mean, that was one of my favorite episodes of Smallville. Is when Superman drinks this like magic concoction, and they do a hangover episode where they all wake up and like, what just happened last night? And they go through like archival footage on their phones and all kinds of stuff. It's so funny. I love that episode because they stop guys from robbing a security van, like the bank vans. What are they called?
Brinks truck.
Yeah, like a truck. And then like Superman, he speeds off, and there's like, oh, there, and he has like a lemur or whatever. And he's like, I found a monkey. They're like, where did you get that from? And then they're like, let's mess with Lex, and he comes back with like the L, and I'm like, that's such a frat boyish thing to do, where you're like, I stole the sign, but it's Superman, so I stole the letter off the side of a building because I could. It's so that was so funny. Anyway, in my rambling, I'm excited for him to come back. I'm excited for them to bring Superman back and hopefully do something really good with Superman. Superman is one of your tentpole people. Is one of the three: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Those are your pillars, your foundation of the DC universe. And for them not to have more movies, their own movies, is, in my opinion, very crazy. Because that's
I would have chosen the word criminal. It's criminal to do.
Well, we're not talking about the Flash. Anyway, ooh, that one's so sad.
Speaking of he, she, it, they, them.
I don't know. Well, yes. That. Speaking of that, I mean, we don't have to talk about that. I guess that person, because there's all kinds of stuff.
I think that's safe to just say that person.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect. I just don't know their preferred pronoun. Mr. or Miss. Oh, I can't say that.
No,
Ezra Miller was in a lot of trouble. It seems like, allegedly doing a lot of alleged stuff. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What sucks about that is that we can't get to see. Well, I feel bad for Michael Keaton.
Because I
both
feel
movies he's
bad
in
for everyone but Ezra Miller, because his behavior is really putting a bad taint on everybody's work in that movie.
Yeah,
and that kind of sucks. And the fact that how many times are you going to bring Michael Keaton back? Oh my god!
And the Batgirl got canceled. It's just like, ugh, that sucks. So, my question to you about the Black Adam stuff? I mean, I was going to see Black Adam anyway because I like The Rock, and I want to know how they're going to do it. I hope it's going to be good and not just another lackluster action movie. It's interesting that they're going with the JSA, the Justice Society of America.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Doing like Dr. Fate and Hawkman and Atom Smasher and stuff like that. So, do I have a concern with them dropping that Henry Cavill is back as Superman, or is like in the movie at some point, right? Because they kind of alluded to that, or flat out said that
in interviews. They confirmed it.
So that makes me nervous, because now I'm like, if that was your big golden ticket, that was like your big takeaway, is there either a bigger takeaway that you're misdirecting us to something even bigger, or is the movie not that good and you really want people to go see it? And I don't mean either or in the mean way.
Yeah.
See, that's just my two trains of thought.
Yeah. Here's my take on it, is because The Rock fought so hard to get Henry Cavill back. So hard. He fought tooth and nail for months.
6 years.
6 years. months,
Months.
years.
Years.
I don't know how many months that would come
Yeah.
to. 6 times 12. Yeah. So yeah, he's been fighting for this for a while, and I
I'm not
guess
doing math.
his wife is Henry Cavill's agent.
Oh, is that what it
Right?
is?
I think so.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Anyway, he's very excited to bring Henry Cavill back because I thought, my opinion was, Henry Cavill was an amazing Superman in a not so amazing movie.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. I can get behind that.
I thought that his performance as Clark Kent, when they showed him being the big old farm boy, I thought he played that perfect. For a British guy to play a Central American, not Central American, Central America. Kansas. It's in Central America.
Central America.
It's in the center of America, so it's Central America. You know what I'm saying?
That's how that works.
Yeah. So yeah, to Midwestern, to play that big old just farm boy, just a humble farm boy. I thought he did a great job at that when they showed him playing that role, and when they showed him playing Superman, I thought he did a great job playing Superman. The movie itself, the script had some issues, some very big issues. They should have made him more light, more the beacon of hope that Superman is supposed to be, but they made him too gritty. But for the scenes that Henry Cavill was playing, I thought he did a fantastic job, and I always wanted to see them give him another shot at it with maybe a better script. And now, because The Rock fought so hard to get Henry Cavill attached to this project, there's now already talks of a Man of Steel 2, which hopefully they can course correct and say, okay, well, yeah, Man of Steel was his learning phase. He's learning how to be a hero,
and that's what I heard.
Why he has to fight to be, better. He's got to be better. And I would think that would be an amazing story to see. Okay, you've got this guy who's the beacon of hope. He's Mr. Perfect, but he had a rough start, and he learned, and every day from that point on, he's got to keep trying to be better, to be better, to be better. So he can earn kind of a perfection of sorts because he's always trying to improve himself. And I think that would be a great way to take on Superman, not just starting him off as being, the Man of Steel and the Man of Tomorrow and being perfect, to have him build to that and have a reason to keep trying.
I think
you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes.
Okay, I kept trying to jump in there, and I apologize.
I know. I kept.
Well, I rambled on for so long too. It's fine.
Yeah.
Last point, and then we probably got to get going. Would be, I think that you'd have to do something like that with this version of Superman to course correct at Black Adam, and then start building everything off of Black Adam, from what they're going to do in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not going to have any more Snyder's or Zack Snyder movies or any of that stuff coming in. And I don't know how many more Wonder Womans you're getting, because that last Wonder Woman was not good.
No.
So doing that, I could see that, and I can get behind that. But one of my biggest arguments about the Man of Steel, and people say the same thing that you said, well, he's learning to be a hero. He's learning to be a hero. He's learning to be Superman. But he's already a good person. Mom and Pa Kent raised a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good dude. He's a good person. He has the moral compass. At some points, people are very upset about his moral compass because how many times he relies on it and does the right thing. It's Superman that he gets to be, hopefully, this beacon of hope that other people can strive to be. So my biggest gripe with that is that I did not see him save enough people during during the fight scenes. All I saw was him just fighting and not saving the people around him. And that's something Superman does. And that's innate in Superman. That's why he's a good superpowered. That's why, a good superpowered person. I don't know if I want to say it like that, but that's how it came out.
No, it's
the powers don't make him good. Mom and Pa Kent made him good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. and he's going to use his gifts to accelerate that. So that's one of the biggest things with that. Like, he doesn't need to learn to do that. He was already taught that.
Well, what I mean
to an extent.
learn, but what I mean to learn to do that is not that he has to correct his moral compass, but I'm talking basically the killing Zod. And I think the thing is,
I hate that.
He couldn't find another way out at that time. He's got to learn how to find the options. I think
I can
because
see them doing that.
His first time facing off someone against not only one person or two people, but three people that were all like equal powered to him. He's got to find a way around that. And he was facing superior odds. So he got desperate and he took Zod's life, and it hurt him a lot. You could see that he wasn't happy about that fact. It pained him a lot afterwards. And so if you use that as a stepping stone for it now, from here on out, he can't kill ever, no matter what the down or the
if you're
upside
starting
is.
now,
Starting
he definitely
now.
did.
Yeah,
he murdered way more people after Man of Steel. In Dawn of Justice, he literally took a human and just blasted him through a couple walls on a roof.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, he just murdered that guy.
Straight up murdered.
Like, straight up murder that guy.
I mean, even if the guy lived, he shattered every bone in his body. It's going to be years of recovery just to be able to breathe on his own.
He flew so fast to make sure that guy didn't kill Lois that the whiplash alone would have broke that guy's neck, let alone that he went through like two walls and a roof, because that's like how he flew out. Like, that guy's dead.
No.
Which, that guy's probably a bad guy. I get it.
Sure.
Like, the moment that's why I like the moment these heroes start crossing that line is when you're like, why are you judge and jury?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
But see, I really want to see them do like a Man of Steel 2, where they start to focus on him being very cautious about how he handles situations like that. And I want to see him do the save a kitten from a tree thing. It's a cliche, it's a trope, but I want to see him do that kind of good as well. Maybe there's a child that has gotten himself into danger, and I want to see him save that child, not by fighting, but by flying in and helping, because he's got these powers that he can do that. I want to see more of the caregiving.
You can make it even in more deeper. You can save the guy who's going to kill himself, or the person who's going to kill himself for various issues, and make that like, another level of his beacon of hope, instilling hope in people. You could do stuff like that. I mean, there was a one-off comic that I saw that a lot of people, I think, make fun of. It was about Superman. He was like kind of like walking the United States to like get re-in-touched with like the American dream or whatever he was trying to do. But one of them, I don't know, I thought it was very awesome not very awesome, I'll take that back. When Superman showed up, it was awesome. But this little boy was getting beat up by abusive father, and Superman heard his cries of help and like opened the door and was like, you're not touching this kid anymore. And I just was like, oh my God, if Superman showed up and just like jacked up that dude, that would be, not saying they should do something like that in the movies, but you could, not him walking. Don't have him walking the United States, but just doing these not lower, that's the wrong word too. I don't know, these non-fighting saves, like you said, non-fighting, non-confrontational saves.
More personal, more on a street level. I think even though he's like the universe fighting guy, he can also function street level.
But do you think level? I guess I did ask you about that. I don't know if we really said. Do you think there's something bigger coming in Black Adam, or do you think that it's going to be lackluster? Those are the only two options. Unless you have a third one, then I'll accept that as well. I immediately changed my opinion.
I was
with this specifically with this announcement of Henry Cavill coming back.
Well, I think this is just going to be, in the last few minutes, they're going to introduce Superman, have them duke it out, because as Dwayne The Rock Johnson said,
Dwayne the Jet Johnson.
Dwayne the Jet Johnson.
Sandlot.
But as Dwayne the Rock Johnson said, Black Adam is the most powerful man of Earth. The most powerful man of the universe is about to step in, and that's Superman. And it's like, damn, okay, yeah. And I think it's just going to be, hey, come on out here, Superman, ladies and gentlemen, Superman. I mean, they're going to fight, sure, but it's just going to be that kind of introduction. Just, okay, bring him back. Let's bring him back out here. Yeah. You've seen him before, but you've never seen him like this. Here he is, the most powerful man in the universe. And then lead into Superman or Man of Steel 2. And I hope then they get to basically use this as a stepping stone to reintroduce the character to the universe and then take him in a more proper direction. And I think I would love to see him played more like Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles than, most of the iterations of the Snyderverse. Because I wasn't a huge fan of the Snyderverse. But, if you're going to keep any of the actors, I'm all for keeping Gal Gadot. I'm all for keeping Henry.
Well, I think you should keep those guys. Like, it'd be great if Ben Affleck were to come back.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. I mean, you should keep those guys because that's what you already established. Them as. But my one friend,
I think they did a good job, though. Mostly, for the most part, with the characters that they were given. I mean, more so Wonder Woman in the first movie more than the second one.
Oh, that second movie ruined everything the first movie set up. I'm gonna say that right now. You literally she's all that cheetah. Like down to she couldn't walk in high heels to now she can walk in high heels.
Yeah.
Like anyway. My one buddy really wants them to, who's also another Superman fan, really wants them to have the brighter suit. Because I guess on one of them, I don't know if it was Man of Steel, might have been on like Batman, Dawn of Justice, or I think it was that one. The suit colors are very bright, very vibrant, but they mute it more because it like helps, in post. So he wants them to actually keep it like bright in the way they work. He said he saw the set photos and it looked so good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
I think that might have been from Man of Steel. I think they actually went even darker with Batman VC. Batman v Superman.
Oh man.
Whoa.
Sorry. My microphone, I just hit it with my thumb and it moved. I apologize, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, let's wrap things up.
Yeah, let's wrap things up. Well, Sam, those are our 5 things. Definitely took way longer than I thought I was going to take. And I'm not surprised, but I'm going to bed. So
I'm going to piss.
Okay. Well, have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Day, whatever it is.